What's going on, guys? G2 here. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're not going to be playing around at the bench. We're going to be in the office and we're going to talk about something that has come up from subscribers. A question in regards to AR and barrel length. So, what is really the best barrel length for an AR? So if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, take a minute, join our community, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so that you are alerted every time that I upload new content. If you are currently a subscriber, welcome back. And today's going to be, I don't know, you guys are just going to have to find out, I guess. We'll see how it ends up. I know where I'm going to end up, and I guess we'll see if you guys agree or disagree with me. Alright, so what is the optimal length for an AR-15? Well, you got to ask yourself a couple questions first. What are you going to be using it for? Home defense, target shooting, practice, precision shooting, hunting, long distance shooting. All those variables will change the potential answer, but I really think I've got it nailed down to one ideal length. And I'm not the only one who thinks that this is the ideal length for an AR. So let's start with, let's say you want to go with something a little short, right? So we got a nice little 8.5 inch barrel here on our 223. 5.56 is actually in a 223 Wild. So if you didn't know what the difference between a 223 Wild and 5.56 NATO and 223 Remington is, do yourself a favor, check this video right here. You're going to learn something. So we have a nice short barrel here. Really good, right? To go through, do personal protection in your home, put it in your vehicle, go rip some paper with it. For hunting, probably not practical. The other thing with this is the shorter your barrel is, the louder your rifle becomes. So keep that in mind as well. That is a factor that not many people think of until it's time to shoot it. And if you've ever shot an 8.5 inch barrel indoors with no ear protection, you will know why this is not my choice for home protection. We're going to talk about this in a second here, but I want to again show you your other options. Of course, you have your standard AR, which comes in 16 inches typically when you buy these off the shelf. 16-inch barrel. You're going to add a brake on this. Okay. God forbid you add a suppressor on this. Now we're 20 inches or so, and this not very easy to navigate through doors and around corners. You're going to have a hard time getting through the house with one of these. Great for outdoor shooting, target shooting, precision shooting, for hunting. Could definitely do that with this. So what's the best length, right? Well, you have to consider, one, what you're using it for. And then two, you have to look at the ballistics. So let's pull up the chart right here for you guys to look at. Bear with me as I look at it myself. And you'll see here, this is a chart which shows you barrel length versus velocity. So as you can see, as you increase your barrel length, your muzzle velocity increases. They are a direct correlation. The shorter the barrel, the slower the bullet. The slower the bullet, it means it's going to drop quicker, which means you are not going to be able to extend to ranges that you normally would. Now, as a self-defense weapon, maybe that's okay. You're shooting inside the house or within your property line, so maybe 100 yards is all you're going to need to worry about. When the AR-15 or M16, whatever you want to call it, was first created by Eugene Stoner, he created it with a 20-inch barrel. And why? Look at the chart here. The 20-inch barrel is the perfect length for the AR-15 platform. You get the highest muzzle velocity at close to 2,950 feet per second, which means you are going to be inflicting the most damage and having the best range with 20 inches. But practicality, guys, 20 inches is not really feasible inside a house or protecting your property or putting into a vehicle or storing, in your house for whenever you need it, right? 20 inches is great. 20-inch rifle would be great, or a 20-inch barrel would be great for precision shooting, for hunting, and for long-range shooting and target shooting accordingly. But for personal defense, not so much. The reason why the military uses this particular length is because when compared to the 20-inch barrel, this produces almost identical results, and that is the 14.5-inch barrel. Now we have one of these here. This is what our next build is going to be using, the 14.5-inch barrel. And the reason why the military uses these for their M4s is because it makes a small enough footprint for you to be able to go through doors, go through windows, store it without it slinging all around, right? It's a little bit more compact. And you only lose 150 feet per second at 300 yards. So think about that for a second. You're engaging distance at 300 yards. That 20-inch rifle was, what did we say, 2,950, I think. So this will go 2,700 feet per second at 300 yards. You're only sacrificing 150 feet per second, which at that point is nothing compared to a 10.5 or an 8.5, which you are going to be sacrificing. First off, you're going to have to aim about 7 feet above the person or whatever target that you're engaging with an 8-inch barrel or a 10-inch barrel. As with this, you're only sacrificing an inch to maybe 2 inches. That's it. At 300 yards. This is why the 14.5-inch barrel is the best do-all length for an AR-15. So I can hear you guys already. 14.5 inches is not 16 inches, so I can't put a stock on an AR with a 14.5-inch barrel, and you're absolutely right. So you'll have to go to a pistol brace or a stabilizing brace in order to do this, or you can NFA it. Bad words. I know. NFA it, get a tax stamp, put a stock on it, and mark it, categorize it as a short barrel rifle, and then you'll be able to do whatever you want with this and still have the best, in my opinion, all-purpose AR that you could possibly have. I'm going to give you guys one more piece of advice. If you are looking for an AR style rifle for self-defense in your home, I would highly suggest you go with an AR in 9mm. Now, we built this on the channel. This is, in my opinion, the absolute best option for home defense. If you're not comfortable with a pistol and going around and shooting that accurately, especially under stress, this is your best friend. Okay? It's going to use the same magazines as your Glock. Whatever Glock you have, they're going to work. So not only are they interchangeable, you don't have to worry about getting different magazines, you can share them with your pistol. The other thing with this, if you watch the video, we went out and we tested this at range. It was great at 25 yards. At 25 yards, 33 yards, we were keyholing. 50 yards, we were inside like a half MOA. Our holes were touching. When we took it out to 100 yards, we were within 1 MOA. Right? We had a 3-inch steel plate at 100 yards with a red dot. That's all we were using. And we were able to consistently hit that 3-inch target unsupported, right? We weren't bench resting this. We were unsupporting, just shooting as normal. And we were able to do that at 3 inches. And then we said, hey, let's take this out. By the way, at 100 yards, we were holding 1 inch high. So really nothing in regards to that. And then we said, hey, let's take it out to 200. Let's see what we can do. 200, we were hitting a 6-inch target consistently. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm not a great shooter, guys. You guys know that. If you watch the channel, I am not a good shooter by any means. But we're using the red dot at 200 yards. We had to hold probably halfway up through the reticle, so I would say it was maybe about a foot if I had to guesstimate at that point. But we were still hitting it. But that's at 200 yards with a 9mm. Okay? So for personal defense, in your home, in your car, support your property, protect your family, I think this is the best option because it is low recoil. The sound compared to this as a 5.56 in an 8-inch barrel, absolutely no question. You can shoot this without ear pro on. Yes, it's going to be loud and you're going to be ringing, but you won't have tinnitus for the rest of your life and you won't be deaf. So, highly suggest this. The other thing to consider is penetration. So if you're going to be shooting a 5.56 round inside of a house, you will go through doors. You will go through windows, walls, whatever. So the last thing that you want to do is accidentally injure or put a round in a place that it does not belong, because in the heat of the moment, are you thinking about what's behind? If you miss, where it's going to go through, where it's going to go? Probably not. So with the 9mm, you know that bullet is not going to penetrate as deeply into doors, walls, etc. So you have a much less penetrative round with the 9mm. Add on frangible and hollow points, and all you got to do or worry about is hitting your target. So, my opinion, this is the way to go. 9mm AR for personal defense. Throw it in your car if your state allows, and you will do just great with that. And I'm going to leave you guys with this 14.5-inch barrel, guys. This is where you want to go. I know the tax stamp may suck if you want to stick a rifle stock or a collapsible stock or anything on it other than a brace, but you can shoulder braces. ATF says so. At least right now they do. So until next time, make sure that you're practicing safe weapons handling at all times and treating every weapon as if it was loaded. God bless America. G2 out.